Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Man Manga Boy Does Not Unbox Manga. What a twist. So today we're going to go over the top 10 manga, or top 10 favorite reads of 2021. I know I'm doing this a little bit later than most people do it, but I had sick hauls. I just had to get out there in December and January, so here we are. Starting at number 10, we have Machi Maho. Any list score 70% and Mal 7.27. The brief summary of this story is, while searching for a brave candidate to become a magical girl and defend the world from evil, a mythical creature finds Kaio Mamanjiba, a cute young lady who seems like the perfect fit. But when this newly turned magical girl proves to be a crude delinquent who goes berserk in a conflict, it becomes clear that this may have been a terrible mistake. Now, evil and any innocent bystanders will face the rage of a magical girl gone wrong. So this is a series that I love. It subverts the expectations incredibly well. It has beautiful, gorgeous art, and it's hilarious. This is such a funny show. It really flips the magical girl genre on its head in a completely different direction than even Madoka Magica did. Strongly recommend reading this series if you like delinquent humor, if you like magical girls, if you like good art, you know. Definitely worth checking out. Maybe even just one or two volumes just to see if it's for you. You'll get a good sense of it even if you just read a few chapters. If it's going to be something you like, but I highly recommend at least checking it out. Number 9, Ragna Crimson. Annie list 73%, Mal score 7.57. In a world where dragons rule sky, sea, and land, those who would fight them and win must surpass the limits of normal human strength. Set on victory at any cost, dragon hunter Ragna joins forces with mysterious Crimson. Crimson's motivations may be obscure, but their goal is the same: to destroy the dragon monarchs. So this is a pretty cool series where the main character is overpowered. He starts off weak, but he actually time travels to the past in the first 3 pages to give his younger self the power he obtained later, but he obtained it too late. And so with his new power and a few memories from the future, he is teaming up with this person named Crimson to help take down the dragons. The dragons' abilities are just as overpowered as Ragna's, but his kind of upper hand is that they all underestimate him as just being a human. This is a great series. I love the action. They are fat books too when they release. This is something that I'm surprised hasn't gained more popularity. It is quite good. I have been having a blast with this series. There's only 4 out right now, and I only have 3 of them. It's only going to get better from here, I'm assuming. Definitely something to check out if you like, dragons, if you like, maybe not isekai, it's not really isekai, but fantasy, action, adventures, or just overpowered characters fighting each other and getting each other's asses just absolutely obliterated. It's nuts. Number 8. 7 Deadly Sins. Annie list score 72, Mal 7.58. Shocked it's this low for these scores, actually. I'm sure everybody's at least heard of 7 Deadly Sins, but a quick summary. When they were accused of trying to overthrow the monarchy, the feared warriors of 7 Deadly Sins were sent to exile. Princess Elizabeth uncovers the truth that the sins were framed by the King's Guard, the Holy Knights, too late to prevent them from assassinating her father and seizing the throne. Now the princess is on the run, seeking the sins to help reclaim her kingdom. But the first sin she meets is Meliodas, an innkeeper with a talking pig. He doesn't even have a real sword. Have the legends of the sin strength been exaggerated? Yes. So this series I actually liked a lot more than I thought I would. It goes deep into Arthurian lore. So if you're a fan of, English lore, in mythology, I definitely recommend this. I'm not. I'm just going to say that right now. So if you are on the same boat as me, maybe you can still like this series. I really find Arthurian lore to just be so mid. It's not my thing, but this is a series I really enjoy, actually. I love to see how they intertwine all these myths and all the lore into one comprehensive world. The characters, they train, they're very likable, they get super strong. Highly enjoy this series. If you're ever on the fence about reading or watching, someone was commenting about that earlier, I strongly recommend reading it instead of watching it. Maybe watch the first season to see if it's for you, but after that, you gotta read it. It is so much better being read than watching it. The anime did a pretty bad job, and just did not do justice to the series, especially the fight scenes. Number 7, Grand Blue Dreaming. Annie List 88, Mal 9.06. Insanely high scores, did not expect this. After moving out on his own to a seaside town, Iori Kitahara makes a college debut he never anticipated. A new chapter of life unfolds, full of diving with beautiful girls and shenanigans with a gaggle of lovable bastards. Idiot expert Kenji Inoue and au naturel authority Kimitake Yoshioka bring you a glorious college tale filled with booze-fueled antics. You really enjoy this series. It's like college days to the extreme. So our main characters pretty much drink a lot and they get drunk and they challenge each other into silly antics. They fight each other over who's going to lose their virginity first. If one starts to get a chance, they try to sabotage their friend as much as they can. Reminds me of a new age GTO, honestly. And so this is another one where if you like that delinquent kind of esque humor, I know that they're not delinquents in the series, but it does kind of have that similar air of a delinquent comedy from high school, despite it not even being in high school. They do actually go diving once in a while, believe it or not, and the artwork for when they go diving is gorgeous. The author really captures the sea quite well and the fish and the other wildlife involved in it. There's also some knowledge about diving that they teach you as well as drinking. So, you know, you got some of that going on for you too. But I really just find this series to be hilarious. And, you know, although it does teach you those things, I gotta say the main reason I think to really get into it is to laugh. This kind of comedy isn't for everybody. It is somewhat childish of a comedy genre, but it is just so good, so mischievous, so everything I love about comedy. Very raunchy as well. Number 6, Knights of the Zodiac. Annie List 70, Mal 7.56. I can't believe that this is higher than 7 Deadly Sins in terms of rating. But I do find Saint Seiya to be a bit of a masterpiece. It's really quite good. I can't believe how much people sleep on this series. I wish it was more readily available in English, but alas, it is not. It is very difficult to get your hands on. So if you do somehow get your hands on it, I definitely recommend it. That being said, I got my hands on the series this year, and I read it pretty much as fast as I got it. A quick synopsis. In Greek mythology, Athena, the daughter of Zeus, was born in full armor. By birthright the goddess of battle, she did not believe in conquest and only fought defensive wars. With bloodthirsty gods and giants shook the very earth and seemed to last forever. On the battlefield there were a group of youths that always surrounded and protected the goddess, the Knights of Athena. Flash forward to modern day Greece, 2 Japanese tourists are shocked to see man-sized meteorite crash on the earth before them. It turns out to be Seiya. Seiya must train harder than ever if he is to survive his match with the brutal Cassius. Whoever wins this fight will receive the greatest prize known to man, the incredibly powerful Pegasus cloth, which is a bronze cloth. It's not that powerful. Get out of here, guys. But yeah, I love Greek mythology, and this really adapts Greek mythology quite well into modern day. The knights travel all over the place. They even go to Elysium. They go to fight Poseidon as well. You know, it's a series that I really enjoy, and I think the battles and the fights are great, but what really kicks it up to the next level for me is the fact that the mythology component, the Greek mythology. I'm a huge fan of Greek mythology, so if you are too, I definitely recommend picking this up at some point. And again, this is really one of the beginning series that helped kick off manga as we know it. I strongly recommend giving it a shot at some point in the future if you can ever do so. Number 5, Attack on Titan. Annie List 86%, Mal 8.58. In the post-apocalyptic sci-fi story, humanity has been devastated by the bizarre giant humanoids known as the Titans. Little is known about where they came from or why they are bent on consuming mankind. Seemingly unintelligent, they have roamed the world for years, killing everyone they see. For the past century, what's left of man has hidden in a giant 3-walled city. People believe their 50-meter high walls will protect them from Titans, but the sudden appearance of an immense Titan is about to change everything. This is a series I really honestly don't know why I read the summary. You all know it. This series, in my opinion, is great. I really actually did not hate the ending. The epilogue I thought was a little weird. Overall, this series is very dark, has a ton of twists. If you guys haven't picked up the series yet, I strongly recommend getting on board now. The anime is probably the way to go with this. Personally, I feel like they just did an excellent job animating the series. We are currently in the final season, part 2 right now. There's not a better time than to get on board now. Number 4, Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. Annie List 82, Mount 8.41. This series is getting an anime later this year, so if you hear things that ring true to you and seems interesting, definitely add it to your watch list. This is an out-of-print series, so it is a little bit more difficult to get, but this is by an artist I really enjoy. Asamiya Yuhi was an ordinary student until the day a lizard showed up asking him to help save the world. The next thing he knows, he's been given a ring and special powers, plus an enemy stalking him. However, he's saved in the nick of time by the girl next door, Samidare, who is planning what kind of things? This is an unconventional story that mixes ordinary life with the bizarre and supernatural. So this series, again, has a lot of twists, a lot of, close deaths in the main cast that you just would not predict. It's a sad story, but it's also a happy story. This is one I strongly recommend reading, or as the anime is coming out now, watching, just to experience this story. It is a gem. I feel like the reason this isn't as popular as it needs to be is because this is one of the earlier 7 Seas manga that were published, and it is out of print, so it makes things difficult, but definitely something I recommend picking up. There's a ton of great action in this. Just like I said, a lot of dark content and a lot of twists. A lot of twists for sure. It's definitely an unconventional superhero kind of story. Number 3, 20th Century Boys. Annie List 88, Mal 8.95. You knew I was going to have Naoki Urasawa pop up on this list. I read a lot of him this year. So, 20th Century Boys is pretty much telling the future as it happens. Humanity, having faced extinction at the end of the 20th century, would not have entered the new millennia if it weren't for them. In 1969, during their youth, they created a symbol. In 1997, as the disaster slowly starts to unfold, their symbol returns. This is a story of a group of boys who try to save the world. For Kenji, a simple convenience store manager who once dreamed of becoming a rock and roll musician, a host of memories from his past come rushing back from when one of his childhood friends mysteriously committed suicide. Could this new death be related to the bizarre new cult that has been implicated in several other murders and disappearances? Determined to dig deeper, Kenji reunites with some of his old buddies in hope of learning the truth behind it all. I love this series. I love sci-fi. This is a really very good series, but I really did not like the ending. I've only read the newer ending that came out with the 21st Century Boys Perfect Edition. I have not read anything else otherwise. I'm not sure if the 20th Century Boy ending is the original one or if that one's been altered too in the Perfect Editions by Urasawa, but the ending I feel like is kind of messy and clunky. But overall, the story I really enjoyed, and I thought it was pretty eerie the way that you can actually find parallels to the COVID virus and the wars that are happening right now to this series, and it's really just surprising. It's mind-blowing series. If for some reason you haven't heard of it or read it, I definitely recommend it. Number 2, Billy Bat, also by Urasawa. Annie List 84, Mal 8.42. Japanese-American Kevin Yamagata now authors the renowned detective comic book Billy Bat. After serving in the Allied forces in World War II, as the series becomes a massive hit, Kevin discovers that the same character, Billy Bat, already existed before within a Japanese comic in Japan. Worried that he may have unconsciously copied something that he saw during his time there, Kevin returns to Japan to find Billy Bat's original creator and seek permission for him to use the character. However, as he traces back Billy Bat's roots, he finds himself unraveling a dark, twisted history of murders that somehow involve the character he thought he created. Another series I really enjoy. This is more of a supernatural / history manga. I hate history. I hate it with a passion. But this series, I really enjoyed the mystery. I really enjoyed the supernatural element. And it's just a crazy kind of a story that just goes down so many different rabbit holes. And when you get to the end of it and you just see where you're left, you're like, wow, what just happened? You know? Like it's something that will never come to America, but something I still think a lot of people need to check out. And so if you haven't, get on it. Number 1, a little bit of a cop-out. I only read like 3 or 4 volumes this year in this series, and the rest of it I read in 2022. But Zac Bell, Annie List 82, Mal 8.34. This is a series that I did a lot of work to complete and finish up, and something I really enjoyed the story a lot more than I thought I would. It was a huge surprise for me. Quick synopsis. Kyo is a brilliant junior high student whose inflated ego and tendency to blow the grading curve has made him a major target for teasing at school. So his father sends him a bizarre birthday present, a strange little boy named Zac Bell, to help make him friends and reform his bad attitude. Zac brings with him a mysterious red volume of spells, and Kyo discovers that Zac has magic powers that are unleashed from reading them from the book. But there are more surprises to come, and Kyo's destiny is about to change forever. This is a great action story, an adventure story. It's got a lot of magic in it as well. So this story is pretty much a battle royale, but for little demon kids. The winner becomes the king of the Momono world in English, or the demon world in Japanese. It recently got a sequel with chapters that are coming out now. It is no longer printed by Viz. My phone just went off. But it is something that I hope will come back, as I believe Kodansha still owns the license for it. Tough to say what really is going on though, since, you know, as the years change, so do licenses, they expire, things like that. Not sure where it landed so far. But this series is great. I really enjoyed the action, the spells, the twists, the fact that, you know, not everyone can live, because it's a battle royale, you know? Someone has to, only one person can win in the end, or live. And so to see how this series evolves, and it gets a lot darker than you'd think for a typical shonen story. It's really not that typical of a shonen story at the end of the day. Something I definitely recommend. Very weird scenes in it as well. Very enjoyable, and very funny at times too. This is a series that I cannot wait to read the entirety of its sequel as it's coming out now. Things are very interesting, to say the least. If you're looking for more information on the sequel, you can definitely check out my other videos. But those are my favorite reads from 2021. What did you guys think of these? Did I inspire you to read anything or check anything out? What are some of your favorite reads of 2021 / even anime? Please let me know in the comments down below, and like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.